What is up, guys? It is Uncle Bob, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back. It is Saturday night, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm just fooling around, and I felt like playing some Blaster.master. And this is a game that, I don't religiously play it on my own, but it's a game that I'll just every once in a while I'm killing time, I'll bust on and play for a little bit. So right now, I can tell by the song, I'm in the third area. So this is just randomly me playing Blaster.master. If I would have been doing what I was supposed to be, I would have been live streaming tonight. And I would have been doing it way earlier. Actually, it's Sunday, technically. It is nearly 1:20 in the morning. But I would have been live streaming a few hours ago. But I just didn't. My weekend kind of got messed up in the best of ways. Not like for anything bad. I ended up doing my One Piece episode a week or a day late because of yesterday as well. Yesterday was Friday. I was supposed to watch an episode 355 of One Piece. But I had a concert to go to with the woman. And, that kind of took precedent over. And that was a lot of fun. Got to see my favorite band, which is basically the only band that I see consistently. I don't think at least I've missed a show of theirs in, at very least, the last 12, 13 years. Somewhere around there. Maybe there's one show I've missed. Maybe there's one that's just the money didn't align. But in general, for my favorite band, I make an excuse to see them. And especially yesterday, our concert for them was the first stop on the tour. So we got to see them at their absolute freshest and at their most peak level. Okay, good, Mike. Hey, you don't turn over. Flip back. Do. I can't tell you where to fast forward if all you care about is gameplay. I'm not here for just gameplay. This is just a channel for me to have some fun. This is just one of those videos where you just have it in the background as you just chill, clean, go to work, do whatever you got to do. A lot of times I won't even talk and it'll just be video game ASMR. Just listening to the sound effects of these old gold games. But yeah, and then today, the concert last night actually was delayed by about an hour because for whatever reason, I don't know if it was leaving or them just getting access to the United States. The two main bands were from Sweden. And the band that was opening was from a small country called Angora. And my favorite band, which is also from Sweden, they were here, and the band from Angora was here. But the other Swedish band, called Soen, I think that's how it's pronounced, S-O-E-N. Their E, I believe, has some weird Swedish accent on top. But they, apparently while we were getting into the venue, which was already an hour late, when we were walking into the venue, that was about the time that the band was getting off of the plane at the airport in the area. So, they were late. The concert was late. And then they also took an extra 30 minutes in between my favorite band, Dark Tranquillity, and these guys. They're doing what's called a co-liner, where they're both kind of headlining. So they'll have one band play first, the other band play second. And then usually the next day they flip it back, and it just alternates. But it took this other band 30 minutes to just even set up to play because obviously they just landed. They got to still test out all their equipment and stuff. Stuff the other bands had much longer to do than they did. But as far as my favorite band goes, it was a good time. It's weird to think this band's first demo came out 36 years ago. And if I were in middle of high school, 2006, 2007, bands at that time that were 36 years old. That's Black Sabbath. So it just warps my mind to think about how much time has passed and how long these guys have been doing the game. But it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy any time they come to town. It is always a really good time. It's about time for me to play some games. I've been drinking my whiskey. Got my favorite scotch, which for a cheap scotch, I don't know many better. For a cheap one, it's called Monkey Shoulder. For like a $35 whiskey, it hits all the right spots. I also haven't eaten yet, so it's hitting extra hard right now. But it's time to play some games. I don't even know where I'm at in this world. I don't know how many game overs I might have gotten before this. Okay. Just take a lot of damage right away. Okay. Okay, well, there's still more areas to explore, which means that is not it. Anybody who doesn't know this game is basically a Metroidvania before Metroidvanias really were a thing. And its its design philosophy is pretty simple. As far as I'm aware, now maybe the very latest levels are a little different. So, forgive me. But usually, what you want to do is find the farthest away... Oof. I am almost dead already. Find the farthest away cave that you can find. And that's generally exactly where you want to be going. It's hard to even know where that is exactly. Ooh! But when you see a door there that you can go in, but then you see a door that your tank can go in, you know it's not... Fuck! Alright, well. Damn! I tried to use a lightning on him for no reason. I will abuse the fact that when I enter my vehicle, I full heal. For you guys, I will definitely abuse that. Alright. Way better than my last trip. But yeah, just find the farthest away area you can go, and that's probably the correct place to be. Nice. Oh, boy. Shoot, 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 shoot. Heal myself up. Nice. But yeah, it was a fun show. My favorite band is the only one that I'll always make room to go see. I will always find room in my budget for them. And it also helps that they're not really like a super popular band, so the tickets to get them are, after fees and stuff that, you get when you buy the tickets. After all that is applied, usually it's like just under $40. And that is just fine by me. All right, I need to... Oh, it doesn't go through walls. I've gotten stuck in there before. It is the worst trying to get out. Oh, I saw him coming. I could have just jumped. Fuck you. Come on. Why you gotta be like that? Oh my God. Alright, hold on. Let's mess around. You might not be able to fully see all of this, but I'm going to mess around with my controller pad settings. So I'm not going to lie, it's kind of in a spot where it's kind of built for my son. The way that he holds the phone when he's playing Zelda and shit. So I just kind of need stuff out of the way that you actually can't see. But that's actually... Alright, that should be good. That's... Still going to take an adjustment period. I'm still going to be used to the other setup, but... we should be able to make this work. This is much more natural to me. Alright, just flee, flee. Hee hee. Fuck you. Alright, let's move it up just a wee bit. Control the layout, just swoop. Wow. Miss. Can we please jump? Oh my God. Just messing up. Fuck! Flee! Yeah, it kind of sucked. The only thing I was disappointed with when I saw my favorite band was it was supposed to be when they toured in Europe and South America. It was a tour commemorating 2 albums of theirs. One called I guess the first one that came out was called The Gallery, and the other one came out was called Character. Now, the one that was the Gallery, the former one that I mentioned, was celebrating its 30th year when they did it in Europe. Now it's 31 years, but 30-year celebration. Ooh, I think I got a game over last time, so I don't have my fancy guns anymore. Nice. What was I saying? Doo-ba-doo-boo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Take a sip of whiskey. I don't remember. I know I was talking about my favorite band, but I'm a little ooh. Let's take a schmack real quick. Oh yeah. So they were commemorating the 30th year anniversary of their album The Gallery and the 20-year anniversary of their album Character. The Gallery is considered in their little subgenre of heavy metal, which is called melodic death metal. It is one of the big three original magnum opuses, the peak cinema of the genre at the time, especially. The three legendary albums were by three different bands: Dark Tranquillity, In Flames, and At the Gates. Dark Tranquillity had their album The Gallery, In Flames had their album The Jester Race, and At the Gates had their album Slaughter of the Soul. Those are the three albums that are really like the foundation of that genre of music. And, you know, ooh, that's a big old raccoon. Hello, big guy. I guess the lights I shine from my car do not face him. He just doop 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 doop. But The Gallery is considered their like peak cinema album. It's their second album they ever made. The first one where their vocalist, who's their vocalist almost since the beginning. He used to be their guitarist. But he's always been a part of the band. But the first album he did lead vocals on, that was seen as their crown jewel. And they only played 3 songs from that album. And then the other album they were celebrating, they only played 3 songs from that album. Now, I will say the middle one was their album closer, which I'm a super nerd when it comes to music. And the only way that I really consider myself a super nerd is that if I want to hear something, I will listen to the entire album that it comes on. I listen to music as albums. My 3 original rock albums, like hard rock albums, were Fallen by Evanescence. I can't remember the name of the album, but the 3 Doors Down album with Kryptonite. You know, will you still be my Superman? That one. The whole album that song came on, which some people might consider them a one-hit wonder, especially looking back on it. They weren't at the time, but looking back, Kryptonite was the only song that really made it like that. And then Linkin Park's Meteora. Those 3 albums were like the very first things that I ever connected with. Because for me, I listened to a lot of as a preteen, I listened to a lot of Eminem. Mainly because my older cousin... Listen, I know Eminem is known for having weirdo fans who kind of obsess over him. My cousin's like that, but in a real life kind of way. He doesn't shitpost about Eminem everywhere he goes. He doesn't do that. You know, he's not an online Slim Shady warrior. But I remember being a teenager. This is now 20 years ago. And he had an entire shelf of just Eminem, which was everything, all of his albums, all of his underground stuff, all of his features, everything. He had so much. Now, I suspect a lot of those CDs only had one song, they were just single features, and he's just autistic as fuck. And kept an eye on him, whatever he was doing. And because of him, my older cousin is one of the people that when I was younger, I always just idolized. So when I was like 11 or 12 years old, Eminem was a big thing I was listening to. One of my favorite memories is of listening to the Eminem show while playing the Resident Evil 1 remake for the GameCube. Listening to, I don't remember what the Eminem, not cover because it's hip hop, but where they sampled Aerosmith's Dream On. I'm not sure what Eminem called his version. Could have been Dream On. I don't remember. But I remember listening to that song on loop and running around the mansion playing Resident Evil on the GameCube. I was like 11 years old. Peak memories. Peak memories. And when I was a kid, rock and roll was always like, not that I disliked it, because I didn't, but it was always that shit that my dad listened to. Oh boy, let's get our fingers back on the buttons here. It was the music that my dad liked. And I remember, I think it was whatever the Three Door album. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I have the drunk hiccups. Oh, how dare you. Oh, hiccups. Hold on a bit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not bad. Oh my God. So many hiccups. How dare you? Not that one gun power-up does a whole lot, but still, I will take it. Can I be done? Am I done with those hiccups now? God, the gun being on one side makes certain aspects about cleaning shit really annoying. I forgot I can hold down the grenade button to strafe. Pew, 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 pew. Alright, now if I leave and come back, I can diesel all reload, which this will be worth it. Especially when I may do stuff like that. Oh God, these hiccups are still so bad. But no, even those earliest rock albums that I loved, those first three big ones, a big thing was that I think it was like a year ago, maybe two, Linkin Park's Meteor has always been on the rotation occasionally on my ears. Doesn't matter how much time's passed. That's the Real Love. The other two, Three Doors Down. Hold on. Hey. Okay, the album was called The Better Life. And that was probably the first album I had heard where I viewed rock as something slightly different than what it was with my dad. You know, where rock music I largely just associated with my dad and whatever he was doing and listening to. So, Three Doors Down, what was it called? I'm dumb. It's called The Better Life. That was the real first album that I listened to. Obviously, it started with the song Kryptonite, but it was the first time that I viewed rock as being something else other than what my dad listened to. So, I remember that gripping me, and then that album came out in 2000, but by the time I found it, it probably would have been 2002, 2003-ish. Somewhere around there. I had slight music that I had on my own back when the Walkman days were big. One of the big ones was, I think it was Now Music 7. I think Now Music 7 might have been the first musical anything that I ever had. And the reason I got that was because of, what was the song? I think it was Destiny's Child Survivor. That was like the first song as a kid. Like, it wasn't a video game song where I was like, I love this song. Actually, when I'm done recording this, I'm going to go listen to that song. And just feel that again. Because that was probably the first song where I really listened to modern music in a different way. Because for a pop song, that song felt, when I was like 10, 11 years old, that song felt epic. And that kind of led me to Eminem in certain ways. I can't even explain it. But when I was a preteen, I got into them, and then yeah, my mom having The Better Life really changed a lot for me. Because I would listen to that whenever I could get the chance to listen to it. Oh my God. I'm so hungry right now. Alright, I need to lock in for a second. Okay, this did not work out as fruitfully as I would have liked. God damn. And as you can see, it's not even the health, it's the gun upgrade. Hold on. Okay. I had to briefly stuff my face. That was the solution. Wait, let me go kill the guys who actually dropped the gun upgrades if I'm gonna do a repeat and hopefully not lose all my gun upgrades. That's the way to lose them, though. Damn. Yay, I got one. But yeah, anyway, like I think I was saying before I paused, even looking back at the first albums that I really ever got into musically, I have always been an album listener. All right. Ooh, that was a spicy shot. Lost the one gun upgrade I had already. I should have gone in the block room. I'm so dumb. You know what? There we go. I had to make sure you died for the way out. Damn. Yay, one gun. Yay. Oh, wait. Duh. 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 I mean, it was funny to even like a year and a half ago go back and listen to a lot of the old albums that I listened to as a, like, even younger than preteen, just as a kid. And to listen to the ending songs on, you know, that Three Doors Down album and sit there and be like, wow, man, I really listened to all of this as a kid, too. God damn it. Oh, gotta be so dang careful. I need more gun for this boss. Yeah, because of that, that's why my favorite band is my favorite band. They make albums. Everything sounds the way it should. Every album sounds better in its place. Or every song sounds better in its place. God damn it! Alright, fuck it. We're just gonna fight this boss. Fuck it. We do it live. God damn it. Alright, well. I gained nothing. Nope, that is most definitely not happening. Okay, well, fuck it. I've wasted enough time. I know what's coming. Damn. Alright, well. This was mostly just talking. I didn't even do much. I died. That's what I did. But yeah, yes, it was a fun day. Everything was a good time. I don't know. I just enjoy bands that play albums. And to be fair, I think to circle it back to the thing I originally wanted to say before I ADHD tangented drunkenly onto 5 other things. One of the bands, or the band that I was mainly there to see, one of the songs they played was one of their album closers, and that was nice. Played a song called My Negation. And I guess to go along with what I said before, it was a lot of fun hearing a song live that closes out one of their CDs. Just because, they're not a band where it's like, woo-wee. It's not like they're a band where, they're really known for their hit singles. Their songs sound like they kind of belong where they are. How dare you? Ooh. God damn. Nice. Excellent timing. Do, 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 do. I was really hoping for some life. Woo! Oh, my face itches. And I'm just glad that even when I was a young kid, I had the same propensity to listen to albums. Because like a year and a half ago, I went back and listened to all those first 3 rock albums. And I was impressed even on the Three Doors Down album that I was listening to when I was like 11. How many of the later songs on the album I'm sitting there like, oh wow, I remember this. Just walk right into all enemies. Damn. Damn, no! Knocked me back. Alright. That is going to be it for the day. I don't even know if I'm going to upload this. But, oh well, I had fun.